Okay, good evening to all. So this is the number theory class here. This is the number theory class. So what I am doing here is for IOQM preparation, the concept and the problem related to that concept. I will explain these two things. So keep going on. Okay. First thing in number theory, what is its weightage in each stage of the examination? Actually, in Olympiads, to crack the any stage of the Olympiad examinations, number theory and geometry, plane geometry, these two are very important. So while coming to the number theory part here, so almost in IOQM or PRM, whatever the standard may be, around 7 to 8 questions will come out of 30 questions. 7 to 8 questions will come from the number theory part, whereas in RMO and INMO part, definitely 100% one question will come out of the 6 questions. One question out of 6 questions. So that's why number theory is very important here in play, especially in Olympiads. So these are the things. So around 7 to 8 questions means almost around 30%. 30% weightage for number theory. So here what you have to do is a trick I am telling here. Whatever the question may be in number theory, first take some examples. That is the thing. Take some examples and work on it. Then you will get some idea here. How the question was framed. The question will be framed based on these things. Actually, question paper setters will take some examples and then they will work on some. That means examples means they will take the even numbers, prime numbers, odd numbers, or multiples of 2, multiples of 5, like that. So different patterns they will work out and they will frame some question. So we have to get that idea. That is important. To crack any question in number theory, we have to get idea based on the examples. That is the thing. So here, while coming to the concept here, the first concept is divisibility properties and division algorithm. Divisibility properties first. Divisibility properties. So here only I will discuss the important things only. Okay, important things only which are very useful for the IOQM only. Some important points only I will discuss. Divisibility property. First, while coming to the notation part here, so many students will get confused here. At the starting stage of their preparation, so many students, almost 70% of the students will be confused here regarding the notation of the number theory, notation of the divisibility. That means, for example, A divides B. Actually, they think that this is nothing but the A by B, but this is not A by B here. A divides B means A exactly divides B. That means when B is divided by A, the remainder is 0. That is its meaning here. So, for example, 4 divides 20. Am I right? 20 when divided by 4, the remainder is 0. So, we can write it as 4 divides 20. That is the thing. So, don't get confused here. This is A divides B means not A by B. We keep in our mind here. Okay. So A divides B means B is divided by A, the remainder is 0. That is the meaning of the notation part here. Well, coming to the, okay. Then the important properties are there here. That is, suppose A divides B, then we can write it as mod A less than or equal to mod. Very, very useful property this is. Mod A less than or equal to mod B means, why I used the mod here? Sir, already A divides B means A is a divisor and B is a dividend. But why we have to focus on this thing means, so suppose 3 divides minus 6 also possible here. Am I right? So, but 3 less than or minus 6 is not possible. So that's why mod 3 is less than or equal to mod minus. So then absolute value is always a positive quantity only. That is the thing here. And the second important point here is, if A divides B and A divides C, then A divides the linear combination of B and C. Very, very useful property to solve the INMO problems like this. So these two are the useful properties. But one more thing here, this is the number theory only, but it is applicable to the polynomials part also. So comparative study is important here for the numbers and for the polynomials. That is important. Okay, we will see the problems itself. Then suppose one problem is given like this. Note down this question here. We will see how many of you will solve this question. Find the sum of all integers n. Find the sum of all integers n such that n square plus 2n plus 2 divides n cube plus 4n square plus 4n minus 4. That is the question. So sum of all values, sum of all integral values of n I want, where n is the integer only. Integer values only I want here, such that this exactly divides this. So what is the thing here is, suppose so many students will do like this one. Where they will do mistake here, I will show. See. So they will take this one and they will divide dividend here. They will write down the dividend here. And when it's divided by this one, how many times it will go? N times it will go. Okay, n cube plus 2n square plus 2. So if I take the subtraction, I am getting this thing 2n square plus 2n minus 14 I am getting. Then again 2 times it will go 2n square plus 4n plus 4 they will write here. Then minus sign will change here. Minus 2n minus 4 minus 2n minus 18 is the remainder here. Why? Because degree is 1 only here. Divide the degree is 2. So this is the thing. Okay. So many students think that, sir, exactly I want the n value here such that this will exactly divide this one. I know that exactly divisibility means remainder should be 0. So minus 2n minus 18 equal to 0. So that n is equal to minus 9. But another possibility also there for us. Anyone find it out or not? That is the thing here. Not only n is equal to minus 1, other values are also possible for us. Yes, that is the difference between the number theory and the polynomial part. Of course, this is applicable to number theory part. All theorems are applicable to the polynomials also, but a slight variation is there. So here remainder is 0. One possibility, this is correct only. N is equal to minus 9 is one possibility. What about the other possibilities? That is the thing you have to know. So what I am doing here is, by division algorithm, I can write that as n cube plus 4n square plus 4n minus 14 can be written as dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. That means n square plus 2n plus 2 into n plus 2 plus remainder is minus 2n minus 18. Am I right? So what I am doing here is, exactly this should be divisible by n square plus 2n plus 2. So if I can write this as the multiple of this one, n square plus 2n plus 2 into some m, then this will be exactly divisible by n square plus 2n plus 4. Why? Because n square plus 2n plus 2 is common here. So if I write this as a multiple of this thing, so right hand side part is a multiple of n square plus 2n plus 2, so that it is exactly divisible. So that means minus 2n minus 18 can be written as multiple of this thing. Am I right? Already we discussed here. That means this is a exactly divisible by this one. This indicates that n square plus 2n plus 2 divides minus 2n minus 8. Am I right? Now only I discussed a divides b indicates mod a less than or equal to mod b. That means mod n square plus 2n plus 2 less than or equal to mod minus 2n minus 8 in here. So that if this is simplified, what are the possible values of n here? So mod is removed here, means plus 2n plus 18. I'm getting 2n get cancelled. N square minus 16 less than or equal to 0. That means minus 4 less than or equal to n less than or equal to 4. So n value minus 4 to 4, but I want the integer values only. That means n value may be minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But how many values are possible and how many values they are satisfying here? Minus 4 if I substitute. Minus 4 if I substitute is satisfying or not for this one. Minus 4 means I am getting 8 minus 8, minus 10 I am getting here. But on the right hand side, 16 plus 2, 18, 18 minus 8 is 10. Exactly minus 4 is possible. Minus 3. Minus 3 is substituted here. 6 minus 18, minus 12 I am getting on the left hand side part. Whereas the 9 plus 2, 11, 11 minus 6, 5. But this is not divisible. So 3 is not useful. Minus 3 is not useful. Minus 2 if I substituted. 4 minus 18, minus 16 I am getting here on the left hand side. Whereas here 4, 6 minus 6 minus 4, 2 only. Yes, it is also possible. Minus 2 is also possible. Minus 1 if I substituted. Minus 16 I am getting here. Minus 1 if I substituted. Minus 2 means what I am getting here? Minus 2 means 4 minus 18, minus 14 I am getting on the left hand side. Whereas here 4 plus 2, 6, 6 minus 4, 2, right on, correct only. Minus 1 if I substitute minus 16 on the left hand side. 1 plus 2, 3, 3 minus 1, 2. It is also possible value here. 0 substituted minus 18 I am getting 2. 0 is also possible here. 1 if I substituted minus 20 I am getting here. So here 4 plus 1, 5. Yes, it is also possible. 2 if I substituted minus 22 I am getting on the left hand side part. 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 4, 10. That is not divisible here. So 3 if I substitute here, plus 3 means minus 6 and minus 24 I am getting here on the left hand side part. 2, 4, 3 only I substitute here. 3, 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 6, 18. Again not divisible here. 4 is divisible or not here. 8, 18, 26, minus 26 I am getting here. Whereas 16 plus 2, 18, 18 plus 8, 26. Yes, this is also possible. Only minus 4, minus 2, minus 1, 0, and 1 and 4. These are the possible values here. Remaining values are not possible. So what is the required sum? Sum of the all possible n values are minus 4 and plus 4, 0 only. Minus 1 plus 1 also 0. Here minus 2 will be left here. Here minus 9 will be left here. So that minus 9 plus minus 4 plus 4 will be 0. plus minus 1 plus 1 will be 0 plus 0 plus minus 2. That means answer will be minus 11. These are the possible values. So in case of the polynomials, two possibilities are there. For exactly divisibility, two possibilities are there. First possibility is whether remainder is 0, and the second possibility is remainder is a multiple of the divisor. Remainder is a multiple of the divisor. That is these two are the important factors here to solve these type of questions. Okay. Then one more question here. Find the largest positive integer n. Such that n cube plus 1000, n cube plus 100 is divisible by n plus 10. Try this question. What is the thing here is, if I divided this by this one, this is the previous question only, one of the previous question only, but I want to explain that concept again. So n square times it will go, that means n cube plus 10n square. So if I subtracted minus 10n square plus 100, I am getting here. So again minus 10n times minus 10n square minus 100n I am getting here. So again the sign will change here, so that 100n plus 100. Again n 100 times it will go, that means 100 times 100 into n, 100n plus 1000. That means here minus minus I am getting minus 900. These two will get cancelled. Minus 900 is the remainder. Exactly, this has to be divisible by n plus 10. That is our condition. So again the remainder is non-zero here. So again I want to write the remainder as a multiple of the divisor. Now only I discussed that n plus n into some n. So minus 900 is equal to this into this thing, means n plus 10 divides minus 900. That is the meaning of this thing. Am I right? So n plus 10 divides minus 900 means mod n plus 10 is less than or equal to mod minus 900. That means n will be less than or equal to 900. Plus 900 minus 10 is 890. So what is the largest positive integer? 890 or less than 890. That is the n value here. Therefore, largest n value here is 890. So that is the answer. That is so same concept only. If the remainder is non-zero, if the remainder is a multiple of the divisor, then also another case is possible. In the previous question I already discussed here. That is the okay. This is the first concept. Then coming to the second concept. Next concept is GCD and LCM. See here, first I will take one example, then I will generalize the concept. That means suppose for example, to find the GCD of some 39 and 5 is given. Suppose. Correct. So I will divide 39 by 5. So that 4 will be the remainder. Again 5 I will take and I will divide it again, so that 1 will be the remainder. Again I will take 4 here. 4 1 are 4, remainder is 0. So GCD is equal to 1, I can write here. But here the important observation is there. Are the GCD of the, and also the GCD of these two numbers also same. That means GCD of 5 comma 39 and GCD of 4 comma 5 and GCD of 1 comma 4 all are equal only. Am I right? So in generally, suppose the GCD of A comma B is given. Then suppose Q1 is the quotient, remainder is R1 I got. Then here I will take here and Q2, R2 will be the remainder. Suppose for example, and this process will be going on until you will get the remainder here. Am I right? Then from here we noticed that A comma B GCD, R1 comma A GCD, R2 comma R1 GCD, R3 comma R2 GCD, all are same. Am I right? So that is the thing you have to remember here. A comma B GCD, R1 comma A GCD, R2 comma R1 and so on. All are the equal. That means the GCD of the two numbers is equal to GCD of the divisor and the first remainder, GCD of the second remainder and first remainder and so on until we get the remainder. So this is the GCD concept, LCM and GCD. And the notation is LCM notation is a square brackets we will use, whereas the GCD notation is a just ordinary brackets. That means the GCD notation is this one, whereas the LCM notation is this one. Okay, that is it. And finding the GCD using the prime factorization is one of the techniques. Already we know that. We will do some questions. Find the number of possible triples A comma B comma C such that LCM of A comma B is equal to 1000, LCM of B comma C is equal to 2000, and LCM of C comma A is also 2000. Number of possible triples. We have to find out such that GCD of for these two numbers, the LCM is 1000. For B and C, the LCM is 2000, and for C and A is also LCM is 2000. How we can solve this question in an easy manner? That is the thing. So A, B, C I am taking 1000 for A comma B. If I find the LCM, I am getting 1000. What is the prime factorization for 1000 here? Prime factorization for 1000 is 2 cube into 5 cube. So for 2000, it is 2 power 4 into 5 cube. Am I right? That is the prime factorization for 1000 and prime factorization for the 2000. That means 1000 or 2000, whatever it may be, only prime factors are 2 and 5 1. No other prime factor is possible. Am I right? So that's why A, B, C all are having the 2 and 5 as the prime factor. No other prime factor is possible. That is the first thing. So here also suppose 2 power some x1 I am taking the power into 5 power some y1 I am taking. Here let B is equal to 2 power x2 into 5 power y2 I am taking. Similarly, C is 2 power x3 into 5 power y3 I am taking. Then while coming to the A and B here, if I consider A and B, the LCM is 1000. LCM is 1000 means 2 power should be 3 and 5 power should be 3. So while coming to the 2 powers here, powers of 2 I am taking first. So I am focusing on the powers of 2. Powers of 2 means here x1 is there, x2 is there, but the maximum value of x1 and x2 is 3. Whereas if I consider b and c here, what is the power here? 2 has the power 4. That means the maximum power of this maximum of x2 comma x3 is 4. Then only I will get here. Similarly, for C and A also, I am getting 2000. 2000 means again 2 power 4 into 5 cube. That means if I consider B and C or A and C, I want to get the maximum 2 power as 4. That means this x3 is equal to 4. If x3 is equal to 4, then I will get the 2 power as 4 only. That is the first thing you have to observe here. But because in A and B maximum power of 2 is 3, in B and C and A maximum power of 2 is 4. So that's why C is common here and here. So I am taking x3 as 4. x3 is equal to 4 is fixed. Coming to these two, x1 and x2. So the maximum value of x1 and x2 is 3 here. So I am taking x1 comma x2 as any one is 3 here. Suppose 3 comma 0 I can take, 3 comma 1 I can take. Maximum value should be 3 for x1 and x2. 3 comma 2 I can take, 3 comma 3 also. Or why sir, why you are taking x1 as 3? I will take x2 as 3. So you take it, no problem. That means 0 comma 3, 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 3. 3 comma 3 already over, so that's why I am not taking. So how many possibilities are there? Means 7 possibilities are there. Then coming to the powers of 5. Now I am focusing on the 5 powers. For A comma B, power of 5 is 3 only. For B comma C and C comma A also 5 power is 3 only. That means what I am thinking here means in A, B and C, any 2 powers, either y1, y2 or y2, y3 or y1, y3 are equal to 3, then the problem will be finished. So we will get the LCM, maximum value of y1 and y2, 3 here means I will get the GCD is 3, power is 3. Here also maximum value 3 I will get. Here also maximum value 3. So that's why any 2 out of y1, y2, y3 will be 3, equal to 3, any 2. That means either this pair or this pair or this pair. So how many possibilities are there here means y1, y2, y3 may be. Suppose these two are taken as 3. 3 is 3, 3, 0, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. Suppose y2, y3 are taken as 3. Then how many possibilities are there? 0, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3. Again, if y1 and y3 are equal to 3, that means 3, 0, 3, 3, 1, 3, and 3, 2. 3, 3, 3 is already over. So that's why one time only I am taking that. So how many possibilities are there for the 5 powers means 3, 7, and 10. 10 possibilities are there. But I want 2 powers and 5 powers. Both powers I need here. So that's why by multiplication principle, 7 into 10 means 70 possibilities are there. So 70 possible triples. 70 triples are possible for ABC such that these 3 conditions will be satisfied. That is it. So while solving these type of GCD or LCM questions, so just you have to focus on the powers of the prime factors something. That is it. Okay. So these type of questions are very useful, especially in the Olympiad examinations. Okay. Then Béjor's theorem. What the Bezos theorem statement is, suppose a comma b are the positive integers, a comma b are the positive integers, then the GCD of a comma b can be expressed as a linear combination of a and b, where x comma y are any integers. Okay, a comma b should be positive integers, that natural numbers only. Actually, in some textbooks it will belong to natural numbers only, but I am taking the positive integers. So if a comma b are the positive integer, then GCD can be expressed as a linear combination of a and b. Okay, so suppose for example 45 and some 90 are there. 45 and another number I am taking here, 75 suppose. What is the GCD here? GCD of 45 and 75 is 51. So 5 can be expressed as 45 into something plus 75 into something or not. 75 into some y. X into y or not. Yes, I can express this one. Why? Because 75 can be written as 1 into 45 plus 30 here. So 45 can be written as 1 into 30 plus 15. And 30 can be written as 2 into 15 here. That means 15. Okay, 15 table will go. GCD is 15 here. For 45 and 75, GCD is not 5, it is 15. Yes. 15 can be written as 45 minus 1 into 30. So in place of 30, I can write 75 minus 1 into 45, I can write here. So that means 45 plus 1 into 45, that means 2 into 45 minus 1 into 75. That's it. Am I right or not? 90 minus 75, 15. So this is the Bezos identity. This is applicable to polynomials also. This is applicable to polynomials also. Suppose two polynomials are given, then the GCD of the two polynomials can be expressed as a linear combination. Where it will be useful, mainly it will be useful here to prove the two numbers are co-prime numbers. Two numbers are co-prime numbers. What I am doing there means, suppose one can be expressed as a linear combination of A and B. Then these two are said to be co-prime numbers. So to prove the two numbers are co-prime, then we can use this concept here, Bezos identity. Okay, that is the thing. Then division algorithm, all these are I am not giving information. Why? Because that simple things only I am not giving those two simple things. Okay. Then coming to the next concept here, the important concept here is congruence modulo. This is the heart for the number theory part. Congruence model. Only I am giving the main points only. Okay. Focus on these things only. That is enough for the IVQM examination. Okay. Congruence. Actually, what is the basic definition of the congruence means? If two numbers A and B leaving the same remainder when divided by m, then these two are said to be congruent to each other under modulo m. That is the basic definition. Suppose, for example, 15 congruent to 30 under mod 5. Because 15 when divided by remainder is 0, 30 when divided by 5 remainder is also 0. These two numbers are leaving the same remainder when divided by 5. Hence these two are said to be congruent to each other under modulo 5. But so many examples I can write from here. 15 is congruent to 30 mod 5 I can write, or 25 congruent to some 35 I can write also. So many examples I can give. Am I right? So this is not unique. So that's why to make it as unique concept, what I am taking here means when A divided by M, the remainder I will write. Remainder I will write here. When A is divided by M, the remainder I will write here. But remainder is a unique one. So that's why Instead of this definition, the new definition is this one. When A divided by M, I'm getting the remainder as R. I will write the remainder R. But here, what are the conditions on the remainder? What are the conditions on the remainder? What are the conditions on the remainder means? In division algorithm, what we can say? If B is divided by A, suppose Q is the quotient and R is the remainder, then B is equal to AQ plus R I can write, where R is 0 less than or equal to R less than A. See, this is very important thing. So many will omit this condition. R is a positive quantity, 0 or positive, more than 0. That means R is a and less than the divisor. What does it mean? Means remainder is a non-negative quantity. Am I right? Remainder is a non-negative quantity. We focus on this thing. This is important thing. Okay, then I will come to this point here. First, you understand this thing. What about the remainder and remainder conditions? Just you focus on this. Remainder is a non-negative quantity based. That means suppose, for example, minus 19 when divided by 7, what is the remainder? Minus 9 when divided by 7, find the remainder. So what I am taking here means minus 19 when divided by 7. So instead of 2, actually I want to subtract here, am I right? So 2 times I will take here minus 14, minus 2 times minus 14. So that if I divide minus 5 I am getting 3 times means minus 3 times means minus 21 I will get here. So if I subtract, sign will change here and 2 will be the remainder. Remainder condition is satisfied or not? Remainder is a non-negative quantity first. And this is also less than the divisor. Hence the remainder is equal to 2. Absolutely no doubt. But anyone tell me here, when 19 is divided by minus 7, what is the remainder? Anybody? When 19 is divided by minus 7, what is the remainder? Our remainder should be, remainder condition is important. Already I told so many times. Why I am stressing on this part? That is the thing. Anyone, what is the remainder here? So many are giving so many answers here. But check once these conditions are satisfying or not. Remainder is a non-negative quantity first. Negative values are not possible for the remainder. And also remainder should be less than the divisor. So many students are doing like this. So minus 7 is there here. So 2 times I will take minus 2 times I will take here minus 14 minus 4 plus 14 I am getting here. So if I subtracted, 5 will be the remainder. But is this greater than the divisor? This condition is failed here. So absolutely 5 is not the remainder. Then what is the remainder in this case? What is the remainder in this case? Yes, exactly. Remainder is 2 again. Why remainder is 2? Why remainder is 2 means just you write down in this one. 19 when divided by minus 7 is nothing but the 19 by minus 7. Am I right? But this is not in the standard form. What is the standard form of this one? 19 by minus 7 is minus 19 by 7. So we have to divide minus 19 by 7 instead of dividing 19 by minus. That is the importance of the standard form. This is not in the standard form here. So first I converted this into the standard form. So when minus 19 divided by 7, now only I got here remainder is 2 and the remainder condition also satisfied there. Check it. Am I right? So 7 minus 19, same question only, previous question only. 19 minus 19 by 7 or 19 by minus 7, both are same. But this is not in the standard form. First I converted this in the standard form. then how many times it will go? Minus 3 times minus 21. So remainder will be 2. Absolutely, remainder is less than the divisor and more than 0. So that's why if a by minus b is there, minus a by b, immediately you have to write minus a by b, then only simplify the question. Otherwise, the solution is not possible. That is it clear? So that is thing. So standard form is important. Now coming to here. What about the remainder is? Remainder is a non-negative quantity I given. But for our convenience, here I am considering negative remainders also for the simplification purpose. That means, suppose 15 is there. When divided by, suppose this is 25. When divided by 13, what is the remainder here? What is the remainder here means usually 25 when divided by 13, what is the remainder here? 12 will be the remainder. But instead of 12, this is a larger number when compared with 1 or minus 1, this will become larger number. So that's why 12 minus 13, that means minus 1 I will take here for the simplification purpose only. Minus 1 I will take instead of the 12. The 12 minus 13 is minus 1. For the simplification purpose only, I will consider the remainder as minus 1. But the actual remainder, if you want to express the remainder, then 12 will be the remainder. Absolutely no doubt in it. Remainder is 12 only, not minus 1. Because the remainder is a non-negative one. But for our convenience only, I am considering here the negative remainders also. But after that, while expressing, convert this into the positive quantity and then only the remainder will be expressed. Clear? So, when 25 divided by 13, what is the remainder? Actually 12 1. So 12 minus 13 is minus 1. That will be the remainder entry. If it is minus 1, actual remainder 13 minus 1 12. Okay. So some only important properties I am telling here. That means first one is if A is congruent to B mod M and C is congruent to D mod M, then A plus C is congruent to B plus D. I can write here. A into C is congruent to B into D. I can write here. Mod M only. And also, if the power is raised to some n, B power n, mod M also I can write, where n should be a positive integer only. This n, if I consider negative power, that is not possible. Okay, so these are the important properties. One of the important property here and useful property here means A is congruent to B mod M and A is congruent to B mod N. Two different divisors are available. And also, if M comma N are the co-prime numbers, then I will write it as A is congruent to B mod M into N. I can write. Mod M into N I can write. This is the useful, very useful property. Okay. Just to focus on these three and this one, 4 properties. These 4 are the important. Remaining properties are very simple one only. I don't want to teach the simple things. Okay. These are the basic properties and the definition of the congruency. Then some important theorems are there. Yeah. What are the important theorems are? First one is the Euler's theorem. Second one is the Fermat's theorem. And the third one is the Wilson's theorem. What is the Euler's theorem? This is the very important. Out of these 3, Euler's theorem is very important. What is its statement is, suppose A comma B are the A comma M are co-prime numbers. If A comma M are co-prime numbers, then a power phi of m is always congruent to 1 mod m. That is the definition. Now what about this phi of m? I don't know, these things are all a1 m are already I know. So what is this phi of m is nothing but totient value of m. Totient value, not quotient. Totient is correct one. Totient value of m. What does it mean? What is the totient value means? The number of positive integers, less than m and co-prime to m. This is the definition of the quotient value. For example, simple example I am taking. Suppose a number 12 is there. How many integers, positive integers, less than 12 and co-prime to 12 are there? Less than 12 and co-prime to 12 are 1, 12 co-prime numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 are the co-prime numbers here. 7, 12 are the co-prime numbers here. 11, 12 are the co-prime numbers here. So how many numbers are there here? Means 4. Therefore, quotient value of 12 is 4. But this is simple things that 12. If it is 1,000 or 2021 given, and how I can find this means 12 is nothing but the number 12 into 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus 1 by 3. That means 12 into 1 by 2 into 2 by 3, 4 is correct or not? That is this thing. So very, very useful theorem here is this one. So first of all, the condition should be a comma m should be co-prime number, then only I can find. Okay. Then coming to the Fermat's theorem, the simple thing only here, if it is a prime number, if any prime number you take, then what is the quotient value of prime number here? Suppose p is a prime number here. What is the quotient value means? P minus 1. 1 less than that. Why? Because only one factor it has. Suppose 7 I taken. How many factors are there here? Only one factor only. 7 power 1 only itself. So 7 into 1 minus 1 by 7 means 6 by 7 I will get. This 7 and 7 get cancelled 6. Because prime number has only one factor, one prime factor only. So that's why quotient value of a prime number is p minus 1. So based on that only, Fermat invented that if m is a prime number, if I consider, if p is a prime number, then a power quotient value of a prime number is how much? P minus 1 only. So the statement is a power p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. Am I right? Same only, Euler's theorem only, but in place of m, I taken as a prime number, a prime number I taken. So a power p minus 1 is congruent to mod p. So that's why what I am telling is, if we are Euler's theorem, you know, then this is nothing here. We can use for prime numbers also this one. So that's why Euler's theorem is important. Then coming to the Wilson's theorem, a lesser important theorem in number theory here is p minus 1 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod, where p is a prime number. Where p is a prime number. That is, out of these three, Euler's theorem is very, very important and useful. I will show the problems here, where it was useful mainly. Euler's theorem. Mainly, it will be useful to find out the last 2 digits and last 3 digits and last 4 digits. So what is that concept? Last 2 digits, last 3 digits, last 4 digits concepts. So before entering into the how to find the last two digits and last three digits, whatever it may be, I will show the concept. Suppose a number is, I'm taking one number here, 79248 I'm taking. Suppose for example 19. This is the number 79248. What is the last digit here? Last digit is 6. This 6 is nothing but when divided by 10, the remainder is 6 here. So that means the units digit is 6. Last two digits are 86 here. So when this number is divided by 100, the remainder is last two digits. What are the last three digits? 486 here. So when that number is divided by 1000, our remainder is the last three digits. So what is the concept here is, so to find the last three digits, just divide the given number by 1000 and find the remainder. The remainder is our answer. How to find the last two digits here? Divided by 100. The remainder is our answer. Like that is the concept behind. But again, what I am doing here means divided by 100. What are the factors for 100? Means 25 into 4 I will consider always. Why? Because 25 and 4 are both are the co-prime numbers. Am I right? So that's why instead of dividing by 100, I will divide this by 25 and 4. So that the common number I will observe, that is our my two digit number. Similarly, divided by 1000. 1000 can be written as the 125 into 8, where 125 and 8 are the co-prime numbers again. Whereas to find the last four digits, I am dividing that number by 10,000. 10,000 can be written as 625 into 16, where these two are also co-prime numbers. This is the concept behind. So now onwards, what I will do is, so to find the last two digits, I will divide it by 100, but divided by 100 means 25 and 4 I know. So that's why I will divide it that number by 25 and 4. To find the last three digits, I will divide that number by 125 and 8. To find the last four digits, I will use the 625 and 16 and so on. Now onwards, whatever it may be, this is the concept behind it. Okay. So one question we will do now on this one. How I am applying this concept. See. Suppose a question is given like this. Find the last two digits of 2021 power 2021. Last two digits of 2021 power 2021. So what I told here now only, to find the last two digits, we have to find the remainder when this is divided by 100. But 100 can be written as the 25 into 4. So I will divide this by 25 and divide it by 4, and I will observe the common part there. That is. So 25 I am taking here first. I am dividing that by 25. So that means I need this thing 2021 power 2021 when divided by 25. What is the remainder? That only I want. So to find this one, here 2021 power is raised to 2020. So what I am doing here is I am using the Euler's theorem to simplify this. Euler's theorem means if A comma M are the co-prime numbers, then A power pi of M is congruent to 1 mod M. Am I right? That means here 25 I am taking here 2021. So since 2021 and 25 both are the co-prime numbers only, then by this theorem 2021 power pi of 25 is congruent to 1 mod 20. Pi of 25, what is its value here? 25 can be written as a 5 square here. So quotient value of 25 is 25 into 1 minus 1 by 5. So that I am getting 4 by 5 means 20 I am getting. Therefore, according to quotient, Euler's quotient theorem, 2021 power 20 is congruent to 1 mod 25. Am I right? But I want 2021 power 2020. So how I am writing this one in terms of the power 20? 2021 power 2021 can be written as 2021 power 20 whole power, because I know this value leaves a remainder 1 when divided by 20. So 20 whole power, how many times I can write? I want 2021. 101 times if I consider 2020. So again 2021 power 1 is left, mod 20. But this value when divided by 25 remainder is 1 only. So 1 power 101 is 1 always. So this part will be eliminated. So always reduce the powers, that is the thing, mod 25. So 2021 power 2021 or just only 2021, both leave the same remainder when divided by 20. So when this divided by 25, what is the remainder here? 21. 2000 it will go in 25. So therefore 21 will be the remainder. That means I want the number 25k plus 21. Why? Because this is the remainder, this is the divisor. So suppose quotient is k, then divisor into quotient plus remainder. So this number format I want. What are the 2 digits in this format? Possible 2 digits in this format. If I keep k is equal to 0, then 21 I am getting. If k is equal to 1, 25 plus 21, 46 I am getting here. If k is equal to 2, 50 plus 21, 71 I am getting. K is equal to 3, 75 and 21, 96 I am getting. That's all. After that I will get the 3 digits. But I want to find 2 digits and last 2 digits only. So last 2 digits, 2 digits possible in this format are only these 4 numbers. So our answer should be any one of these 4 numbers. Okay. Then again 4. Last 2 digits mean 25 and 4. With 25 I got these 4 number. I will confirm it by taking the 4. So that means I want the remainder and 2021 power 2021 divided by 4. What is the base part here? 2021. Okay. 2021 when divided by 4. What is the remainder here? 1 only. If this power is raised to 2021, that means 2021 power 2021 is congruent to 1 power 2021 mod 4. So that 1 power anything is 1 only. So I want the number now. When divided by 4, the remainder should be 1. When divided by 4, the remainder should be 1. So out of these 4 numbers, which number is satisfying that condition? When divided by 4, remainder is 1. So 21 is the satisfying. Remaining numbers won't satisfy that. Therefore, last 2 digits are 21. Last 2 digits are 21. So I am telling the unique procedure to do all these types of problems. Okay. So this is the thing. So when divided by, to find the last 2 digits means we have divided by 100. So to divided by 100 means 25 and 4 I am taking. So actually, so many students are giving the answers. Why you are using this method only, sir? Another simplest method is also there, but I want to teach the concept 25 and 4 concept. Okay. Similarly, find the last 3 digits here. Last 3 digits. Last 3 digits means what we have to do? We have to divide it by 125 and 8. So dividing by 125 first thing. Always keep in your mind that while solving the congruency problem, we have to reduce the powers. Okay. So 125 I am taking. So first thing I want to find out what is the remainder when this is divided by 125. Actually, I already found the two digits, sir. Already 21 are the last two digits. So 121, 221, 321, 421, 521, so on, 921. I will take and I will find out the reason. Yes. But directly how you can find the last three digits? Just you solve this method. Why? Because you have to get a practice on the congruence problem. How I am simplifying. So the remainder I want here. Again, I am going to the Euler's theorem because 2021 and 125 are the co-prime numbers. Again, then 2021 power pi of 125 is congruent to 1 mod 125. Am I right? What is the quotient value for 125 here? Means quotient value is 100. You will get 100. You will get. That means 2021 power 100 is congruent to 1 mod 125. That means here 2021 power 2021. I can write it as 2021 power 100 whole power 20. That means 2000 are over, 21 is still there. 2021 power 21 is there. Mod 120. Since 2021 power 100 leaving a remainder 1 only, so 1 power 20 is 1 only. So this part will vanish here. So here left, this is left with 2021 power 21 mod 120. See, the power is reduced to 21 here. Next, what I am doing here is, here the base is 2021. 2021 when divided by 125, what is the remainder? 21 will be the remainder. 125 table, 16 times it will go, so 1 will be the remainder. 2000 times, 2000 will be go, 21 will be the remainder. 21 will be the remainder. So 2021 power 21 is nothing but the 21 power 21. Just I raised the power to 21. All right. So in place of this one, I can write 21 power 21. That means this is congruent to 21 power 21 mod 125. Again, 21 power 21 is there. How I am simplifying here means 21 square. What is the value of 21 square? 21 square means 441 I am getting here. 441 when divided by 125, what is the remainder? 441 when divided by 125. 125 means 3 times 375 I am getting here. So if I subtracted 6 and 13 minus 7, 66 is the remainder here I am getting. I want to reduce the powers. That is my main aim. So what I am doing here is, this can be written as 21 square whole power 10 into 21 power 1. Am I right? 21 power 20 into 1, 21. So mod 125. But this value leaves a remainder of 66 here. So this can be written as 66 power 10 into 21. Mod 120. Then 66 power you check it. I want to reduce this also. So 66 here how much? 4356. So how many times it will go here? 125 table. 125 table means here 3 times it will go first. 435 minus 375 is 0, 6, 6 not 6 I am getting here. Then it will go 500. It will go. 125, 4s are 500. So the remainder will be 106 here. So instead of 106, what I am doing here is 66 square leaves a remainder 106 when divided by 125. But 125 minus 160, 106 minus 125, I can write the remainder. Negative remainder I am taking. Minus 19 I am getting. Am I right? So this can be written as 66 square whole power 5 into 21 mod 125. Then 66 square is leaving a remainder minus 19. Now only I got here. So minus 19 power 5 into 21 I am getting. Am I right? But still this power 5 is there. 1919 jar. 1919 jar how much? 361 here. 1919 jar 361. When divided by 125, how many times it will go means 375, 3 times it will go. If I subtract the 375, how I am getting? What is the remainder here? 4 and 1. Minus 14 I am getting as a remainder. Am I right? Plus 4. Minus 14 is a remainder. 120. So instead of this one, minus 19 square whole square into 19 power 1 I can write into 21 mod 125. 19 square means minus 14. Minus 14 square is plus 14 only. So that means minus 14 square is 14, 14 there. 196 into 19 into 21 I am getting here. Mod 125. Just I am reducing the powers. Then 1921 jar. 21, 19 jar how much? 119 jar 19, 38 and 139. 399 means 375 it will go. That means 4 and 2. 24 I am getting is the remainder. 24 I am getting in this part. Whereas 196 means 196 minus 250. Negative I am taking here. Minus 196 I am taking directly here. 250 times means what I am getting? 4. 14 minus 9 is 12, 13, 14, 5. 54 I am getting the remainder. So 54 into 24. 54 into 24 is the remainder finally. What is the multiplication of 54 and 24 again? What I did here is minus 196 I taken directly. Remainder minus 196 means 125 the 250 again I can take. So 250 minus 196 54. Whereas 19 into 21 now only 399. So 399 means when divided by 125 24 will be there. So what is this product here? 54 into 24. 10, 20 and 8, 28 and 16. 1296. 1296 when divided by 125. Here one time it will go 46 will be the remainder I am getting. 46 will be the remainder when this product is divided by 125. That is it. That means our last 3 digits should be 125k plus 46. If k is equal to 0, then 046. If k is equal to 1, 125 and 46. 11, 7, 171. If it is 2, 250, 296 I am getting. If k is equal to 3, 375 plus 46. 11, 12 and 421. 5 means 546. Next 625 plus 46. 11, 7 and 1, 671. Then 750, 46, 796. 875 and 46. 11, 921. These are the possible numbers. Last 3 digit possible numbers. I will confirm it by dividing it by 8. When 2021 divided by 8, what is the remainder here? 5 angle. If it is raised to the 2021, then here also I am getting 5 power 2021 body. But I know that 5 square 25 and divided by 24 remainder is 1 only. Therefore, this can be written as 5 square whole power 1010 into 5 power 1. Am I right? Body. 5 square 25 and divided by remainder is 1 only. So this part will be 1 here. So 1 into 5 is 5. So finally, what is the remainder here? When divided by 8, remainder is 5. Which number will leave the remainder 5 here? 5 power 2020, 5 power 1. Which number will leave the remainder 5 out of these things here? When divided by 8, here it is not possible. Remainder 5 is not possible here. Here also remainder 21 means 5 will be possible. Huh? So 18 is 16, 11, not possible. Here also 24 and 56 not possible. Here it is possible. 421. Therefore, last 3 digits are 421 for this question. That is it. So what you have to remember here means to find the last 3 digits, we have to use 125 and 8. To find the last 2 digits, we have to use 25 and 4 like that. Okay, that is. Then coming to the Chinese remainder theorem. Chinese remainder theorem. Actually, in our 6th standard, one question will appear in the regular classroom question. What is that is, find the smallest number which when divided by 5, the remainder is 2. Which when divided by 7, the remainder is 4. Which when divided by 11, the remainder is 8. Suppose, for example, like this. This question will be appeared in the 6th standard question, 6th standard textbook. Find the smallest number such that which leaves a remainder 2 when divided by 5, leaves a remainder 4 when divided by 7, leaves a remainder 8 when divided by 11. At that time, what we will do means, what is the answer here at the time of here is, find the LCM for the 5, 7 and 11 and subtract the difference here. That means 5 minus 2 is how much? 3 1 difference. 7 minus 4 is also 3. 11 minus 8 also 3 1. So the common difference is 3 1. I will subtract 3. So this is the your answer. But if someone asked, suppose if the remainder is 3 here, sir, then suppose some 8, 1 here. The differences are not same. 5 minus 2, 3, here 4, here 10. So in these type of problems, how we can solve it? Here this method is not useful, am I right? So to solve any type of these type of questions, Chinese Riemann theorem is very helpful. Chinese Riemann theorem is very helpful. What is the Chinese Riemann theorem? In simplest form, suppose a number x leaves a remainder a1 when divided by m1. That number only leaves a remainder a2 when divided by m2 and so on. X is congruent to an mod mn. Chinese Riemann theorem says that our x is nothing but simplest form. In simplest form only I am telling you. In so many textbooks it will is in the complicated form. a1 into m by m1 into v1 plus a2 into m by m2 into v2 and so on. An into m by mn into bn mod m. What is a capital M and what is small m, and I will give the description here. See, A1, A2, A3 and so on, AN are nothing but the remainders. Am I right? And M1, M2, M3, so on, Mn are the divisors. Then what is capital M here means product of all the divisors. M1 into M2 into so on, Mn. Product of all the divisors. All are over. A1, M, M by M1, all are over. Except B1, B2, B3. That is the important thing to solve this. In generally, Bn into M by Mn is congruent to 1 mod Mn. So to find B1, put n is equal to 1. To find B2, n is equal to 2. Substitute n is equal to 2. So that is the use it to find the Bn, B1, B2, B3, so on. Bn. For example, how we can find these things are means, yes, 5 into some x is congruent to 1 mod 7 is given like this. That means when we multiplied by 5 and x and divide it by 7, I want to get the remainder as 1. What is the possible one? 5 into 1, not possible. 5 into 2, 10 when divided by 7, remainder is not 1. 5 3s are 15. If x is equal to 3, I am getting 15 when divided by 7, remainder is 1 only. So our x value will be 3. The smallest one is 3 here. And so many values are possible. Another possibility is how much? Anyone? 5 6 0, 5 7 0, 5 8 0, 40, 5 9 0, 45, 5 10 0, 50. 10 also possible. Am I right? 10 is also possible. So many values will be possible, but because in there in the multiplication here, we will consider smallest one only. That is known as the inverses to each other. Inverses to each other. So just solve. And also one more condition is important. Is this always possible? Means absolutely no. It is not possible here. The condition is if M1, M2, M3, so on, Mn, that means all the divisors are pairwise coprime numbers. Pairwise coprime means take any pair. All should be coprime numbers only. That is the condition. So just solve the previous question by using this Chinese Riemann theorem. I am giving that as a work for you. That means, so suppose find the, so one question I will write here. So try to solve by using this Chinese Riemann theorem. I will write the question. Find all possible 5-digit numbers. Find all possible 5-digit numbers such that when it is divided by 5, the remainder is 2. Well, simply I am writing. Divided by 7, the remainder is 2 again. Divided by 11 also, the remainder is 2. Okay, solve this question by using the Chinese Riemann theorem that I am giving as a work for you. Okay, this is the thing. Next, coming to the next part here, because this is a lengthy question only. I am giving some another concept. I am moving to the another important concept here. That is a representation of the integers. Representation of the integers. See, very important concept. So many complicated problems will be simplified by using this representation here. That means what is the thing here is, suppose a number is divided by 4. What are the remainders here? Remainders are either 0, 1, 2, 3 only. Am I right? Up to 3, 1. Why? Because remainder is less than the divisor. So the possible remainders are 0, 1, 2, 3, 1. Suppose the quotient is m, if I considered, this number can be written as 4m plus 0 or 4m plus 1, 4m plus 2, 4m plus 3. Am I right? All integers are covered here. Check it. I will show. M is equal to 0 if we substituted 0, 1, 2, 3. I am getting. If m is equal to 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. M is equal to 2. Next thing will come. If m is equal to minus 1, negative numbers will come. M is equal to minus 2, another negative numbers. So all integers, negative integers, positive integers, 0, all are covered in this format or not. These are the number format, integer formats. Sir, why you are taking this 4, sir? Remember, divisor as 4. I will take divisor as 7. What do you take? What are the possible remainders again? 0 to 6. That means all integer forms are 7m, 7m plus 1, 7m plus 2, and so on, 7m plus 6. Am I right? Again, all these integers will come here also. M is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. But we have to choose the which number form is suitable to solve our question. That is important. That means again one more thing. This plus 3 will be written as minus 1 also. The remainder already when 3 divided by 4 remainder is minus 1 also I can get. So this plus 3 instead of plus 3 I can write minus 1 also. So 4m plus or minus 1, 4m plus 2. Whereas here also plus 6 is nothing but the minus 1. So 7m plus or minus 1 plus 5 minus 2 I can write here. So 7m plus or minus 3 I can write. That's all. Instead of all these things, I am simplifying this thing as 7m plus or minus 1, 7m plus or minus 2, 7m plus or minus 3. But the choosing is important. Which one is useful for us to solve our question? For example, I will give one problem. That means find all possible remainders when 100th power of an integer is divided by 125. Hundredth power of any integer. 100th power of any integer means what is the question here is take any integer 1 power 100, 2 power 100, 3 power 100, 4 power whatever it may be, and so on. When it is divided by 125, how many remainders are possible? That is the question. But they are undefined. Am I right? 100th power of an integer means so many numbers are possible here. Infinite. Integers are infinite numbers. But he asked to find all possible remainders. How is this possible? Means general form I will take. General form means, so here it is 125. 125 is nothing but the 5 cube. So if I use the 5 form in 5 forms, that means when divided by the remainder may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 5m plus or minus 1, 5m plus or minus 2. So I will take the general form and I will divide the 100th power by 125. I will find the remainders. That's all. Instead of doing all the numbers divided by 5. So that's why the selection is important. If you choose here 4 forms, then that will not be useful here while simplifying. Why if we take the 7 forms also not useful. So what I am taking here is because 125 is a